The little-known role of UAVs in Iran's missile strikes on Israel and Iran's attacks on Israel. Most of the attention has been on ballistic missiles. Meanwhile, unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, also play an essential role in Tehran's strategy but are rarely mentioned. According to Channel News Asia. The Vanguard as bait after Israel launched an airstrike with more than 200 fighter jets on June 13th, Iran counterattacked with about 100 UAVs, which originated from Iranian territory and took up to 9 hours to reach Israel. Although most were intercepted by Israel's defense system, experts say this was not a failure, but a deliberate tactic. Rather than causing direct damage, the UAVs are used by Iran as bait, forcing Israel's multi-layered defense system, including Iron Dome, David's Sling and Arrow, to fire, thus paving the way for a barrage of missiles to be launched hours later. This tactic is similar to what Russia is using in Ukraine, combining cheap UAVs with expensive missiles to both erode defense capabilities and put psychological pressure on civilians, jamming defenses and increasing psychological pressure. In recent months, Russia has steadily increased the number of UAVs used in Ukraine, up to 1,100 per week. The goal is not only to cause damage, but also to test defense capabilities, drain resources, and increase psychological pressure on the opponent. Iran seems to be learning that formula. As of June 19th, Iran is believed to have launched more than 400 missiles and 1,000 UAVs in 12 long-range attacks against Israel. In recent raids, despite the support of the US, Iranian UAVs and missiles still penetrated the air defense system and damaged civilian infrastructure, causing panic among civilians and fearing that the war will continue. The sirens sounding multiple times a day, along with the red map warning, have left Israelis living in a constant state of tension. Careful preparation appears to have prepared for a long-term war of attrition using UAVs and missiles. Earlier this year, the Iranian military was said to have received 1,000 domestically produced UAVs. These UAVs have a range of more than 2,000 kilometers. According to expert Dan Caldwell, Iran may possess up to 2,000 missiles that can attack Israel and thousands of UAVs. However, unlike Russia, which can sustain UAV attacks almost non-stop, Iran may also choose to use them more selectively, focusing on strategic targets such as energy infrastructure. In fact, after the first attack, Iran targeted the Haifa Bay oil refinery, causing severe damage and forcing the facility to stop operating. Fearing an attack, Israel also temporarily halted production at the Leviathan gas field. In response, Israel hit at least 4 Iranian energy facilities, showing that both sides considered this an important target in the overall strategy. The air defense shield is no longer an absolute shield. A notable issue: the cost difference between UAVs and interception systems. Each Iranian UAV costs only about 20,000 to 50,000 USD, while each Israeli interceptor missile can cost up to hundreds of thousands of USD. This creates a cost asymmetry, forcing Israel and its allies to spend a lot of resources to deal with cheap but frequent threats from Iran. In that context, doubts began to appear within the US, Israel's key ally. Some figures in President Donald Trump's MAGA movement, such as commentator Tucker Carlson and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, have publicly called for the United States to not get too involved in this conflict. The reality of the war in Ukraine and the Middle East is gradually becoming clear. Even modern defense systems can be overwhelmed by the tactics of mass use of UAVs. This is not just a technical war, but a war of resource management. The sides are forced to make decisions about which targets to intercept and which to ignore, a reality that can make civilians in strategically unimportant areas live in insecurity.